Okay, well, welcome everybody to the, October 27th, 2021 presentation of short sales. I am the super group leader for this category, and so I am glad to have you here with it. I see we got several people on here. Not quite sure how this thing works in webinar mode, so feel free to throw any questions into the chat box. Throw your contact information in the chat box, what you do, what city you're from, are you a wholesaler, rehabber, general contractor? Feel free to share your information in there on it. Throw up any questions that you got in there. I'll watch my other screen that I've got. Sorry, I got a late start here. Always having trouble figuring out these webinar settings. It's not quite like a Zoom. Tonight I've got a brand new presentation that I'm going to start with. It's always so hard to fit this into an hour, and I think this one's going to go over an hour. But I've got a lot of people that, just don't believe in short sales, okay? And so basically tonight I'm going to make a little bit different presentation. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the benefits of what a short sale gives to you, how it helps you. So, if you watch that Matrix movie, you're going to take the red pill or you're going to take the blue pill kind of thing. So tonight I'm going to offer you a different pill. I'm going to offer you the green pill, okay? That green pill is the one that's going to give you massive amounts of green cash, money, profit, okay? So it's completely different than the Matrix. I have a different pill, and I'm going to try to, see if you believe tonight. And so I'm going to run through and give you a little bit different presentation on short sales. Of course, once again, we're restricted by time, and I always, once again, always give out the slides. So if you text short to my phone number there, 636-685-2990. You can always get the slides that you're about to see. I know as an engineer, I've always liked to get the slides because I can't usually take notes fast enough. That's my contact information there. Take a screenshot. I'll post it in the chat box. Feel free to, throw your information into the chat box also, what you do, what city you're in and stuff like that with it. So you should be able to get that out of the chat box. Any questions you can follow up with. And so basically, let's go ahead and get started here if I can run both screens at the same time. So I'm going to do a real quick market update, okay? So, do you believe in short sales? Well, let me tell you something here. Okay, a lot of people don't because they talk about the moratorium and the eviction ban and a lot of things going on, but it is a fact. The mortgage moratorium did end on July 31st after 18 months. Okay, foreclosure starts increased 20% in August alone. They increased 24% in September. Okay, the number of people in an active COVID-19 related plan is 1.6 million people in September. Okay, and so this is a lot of people that are in that, forbearance plan that has been ended on July 31st. To give you a more precise count, it's a little hard to read, but we break that down, 1.578 million over here on the right side. Basically 0.6 million is FHA and 0.46 million is Fannie and Freddie Mac. And there's another 500,000 of other loans from other kind of regional banks and stuff like that. The foreclosure rate, forbearance rate, okay, technically is 5.2% for FHA loans. Guys, that's phenomenal. I mean, that's a huge number. Okay, 1 out of 20 FHA loans in America are in forbearance. They have not made their payment. Some of them for 18 months. That's a huge number. Okay, I'm going to be showing you some Black Knight data from their August report. Okay, so this shows you the scheduled forbearance plan expirations. This is the schedule of how they're kicking these people off of the forbearance plan that they're in. So it's hard to see here, but this big giant first spike that goes up to 450,000 people is September, okay, of 2021, 480,000 people are kicked off. The following month of October, which is now, is 500,000. Okay, November, 350. Looks like December, 200,000. That's a lot of people, guys, that are in the expiration plan for forbearance because it no longer exists. Give you a perspective, okay, what happened with foreclosures over the past 18 months. The bar chart on the left-hand side is 30,000 foreclosures. So pre-COVID delinquency. So what that means is pre-pandemic, how many foreclosures was there at that point in time, that given month of, let's call it, I think it was January of 2020, pre-COVID. There were 30,000 foreclosures in the United States. Okay, gives you a perspective, 30,000 at that point in time. Post-COVID, back in, say, July or May, when we had forbearance, how many foreclosures were there? There was 6,000. There was a 90% reduction in foreclosures in this country over the past 9 months, okay? Now, let me point something out about this. 30,000 at any one time. Did you see that? That's 450,000, 500,000, 350,000, okay? That's a huge number compared to 30,000. Phenomenally huge, okay? Those people are going into the foreclosure mode and they're trying to work out some kind of plan. Will they go into a loan modification? Will they go into selling their home on the open market? Will they go into a short sale? Look, guys, you don't need very many of those to become short sales, okay? It's actually 18,000 a day. If they were to foreclose on these, it would take them 18,000 a day for the next 5 months, okay? We've only ever had 30,000 at a given time, pre-pandemic, not 18,000 daily. So do you believe in short sales? Do you believe in this? You better believe in it, because these are the numbers, okay? So now you may say, hey, but David, I've been on this webinar before and you've taught me that a short sale is when someone owes more than what the house is worth, this market's gone up a lot, 15% in the past year. They can just sell their house. Okay, well, I don't care. Don't argue with me. Let's look at Black Knight's data, okay? Here's a short sale by definition that they define, which is actually only 10% equity. I think homes that have, 15, 20% equity are still actually short sales, because there's a lot of repairs, a lot of times that are needed. There's commissions, taxes, and so many other things that have to get paid off. But nonetheless, right here, Black Knight's data says 13% of all the FHA loans impossible. They can't sell their house. It's physically impossible. They can't sell it and pay off the loan, okay? Even in this market. And here's why, guys, because for 18 months, they haven't made any payments. Their principal, the amount owed, has risen dramatically, and people forget that, okay? So basically, that's the delinquent, that's the percentage of those that are actually in a short sale. Okay, now here's another phenomenal statistic. This is historical data. And what this says is, among the borrowers, the homeowners that have actually a 40% equity stake, not 10%, okay, which was, that amount of legal technical short sales, but rather let's take the homes with freaking a lot of equity, 40% equity, okay? Well, data has shown over the past, 20, 30 years that even people with 40% equity, okay, 1/3 of those people go to foreclosure anyway. They have problems. They have, issues in their family, issues with their health. They don't have the ability to actually sell their home on the open market. So they end up in foreclosure, and you can't allow that to happen. You have to step in and help them out. If you're a realtor and you don't want to do short sales, great, then help them get the house cleaned up and listed as a traditional realtor. If you're an investor like us and the homeowner is going to lose the home anyway, save them, save their credit, save them from having a deficiency, step in and buy that house at a dramatic price reduction, okay? 1/3 of all the homeowners with that kind of equity, 40%, will not make a proper decision and save their home. They will lose it to foreclosure, okay? Phenomenal number. Okay, well, but David, you mentioned that there's this workout option. Maybe they can do a loan modification, okay? I agree 100%. What do you need to have for a loan modification to be approved? You have to have a job, right? Okay, well, there's 6.8 million fewer jobs in America than there was pre-pandemic, February of 2020, okay? In June, some of the latest, data that's, you can't just look at yesterday's data because it a lot of times takes time to report it, but in June, the number of permanent job losers Okay, now while it did decrease, it's still 3.1 million people have permanently lost their job. Guess what? No approval, no modification, guys. Okay, and so those could be your short sales who cannot do a modification. Okay, now would you like to know the exact schedule of which homeowners out of the 1.6 million are going to be foreclosed on and when? That would be really cool to know. Who is that? Okay, I was in on a private webinar with the CFPB, the Consumer Financial Protection Bureau that oversees all the banks. Okay, and the banks were on the call, and I was in there. This little icon on the Zoom thing with no name and no picture, and I listened in, and they were telling them hammer down on the tier 1 people, hammer down on the tier 2 people and stuff. So wouldn't you like to know that schedule? Now you know who to target. Okay, now I want to ask you, do you believe short sales work? Okay, what's your experience with short sales? If you have a question, throw it in the chat box. Once again, feel free to throw your contact information in the chat box. Who you are, where you're at, your contact, are you a rehabber, are you, whatever with it. So feel free to throw that in the chat box, throw your questions in there. I'll look over there occasionally to try to see them. But anyway, do you believe that they work? Okay. I think I've shown you that there's a lot of them out there. But do you believe that short sales work? What are they? Why do some people say they don't work? Okay, well, those are people that have failed at doing them, and it's because they haven't followed some of the rules. Okay, so let's just kind of take a look at that here. Okay, so here, okay, this is Carl. Okay, he bought a house for 120,000, sold it for 220,000. His first house. Okay, he was tired of wholesalers making 40,000 on a deal and him making 10,000 when he was rehabbing it. He's working his butt rehabbing. He'd make 10,000 out of it. Look up the public records, find out the wholesaler made 40. So he got pissed off and he started doing short sales. Okay, the way I teach him. And this is Carl. This isn't me talking about what I do. You guys know me. You've seen me. You know my record. I make $50,000 to $150,000 profit on each house. And they're just $275,000 houses. But Carl did this. His first one, he bought it for 120, sold it for 220. That was this year. Okay, that was this year in today's market. Okay.
Hey, this is David Randolph, and I'm here with one of my students, Carl. He's going to tell you about his actually very first short sale attempt.
Hi.
Can you guys hear, Mark, can you hear that?
Foreclosure people here in St. Charles County found a person that needed our help. With David's help, we were able to stop the foreclosure. We were able to purchase the house for around 120. ARV in the house was near 220. Just did a little bit of work on it and made a huge profit using David's marketing and short sales techniques.
Fantastic, Carl.
So it's technique, guys. You need to know what you're doing in the short sale, and that's what we teach in this super group. Here is how to do the process. Now, granted, I've only got an hour and a half to do that each time, but come back, watch the recorded sessions. Other people can do it. This is his very first house in today's market. What do you struggle with? Okay. What is it that's holding you back from being an investor? You've got access to all these webinars, all these different trainings, Airbnb, wholesaling. We've got a lot of people that have a lot of talent. What is it you're struggling with? Okay. What is it holding you back? Can you not find houses with a profit margin? Do you have sellers that want too much for the house? Do you have too much competition? What is your problem? Okay. With it, are you basically spending thousands of dollars each month on mass marketing? Because you're following some wholesaler's guru, system, which you put out lots and lots of dollars on mass marketing. Are you having trouble getting cash? Okay, to be able to make that cash offer, do you not have access to funds? Because the house doesn't qualify. The hard money guy won't lend to you because you're not getting a big enough spread, so you can't make a cash offer. Are you going over budget on your rehabs and making less money? That's what was Carl's problem. He had to buy it from that wholesaler at that price and only ended up making 10,000 on it. When you buy a house in a short sale, you've got lots of room for a little bit of going over the budget part. Are you arguing with sellers over how much they want? Oh my gosh, I've never argued. I get the seller to tell me, would I please lower the price? I'm not kidding you. Okay. And there's a technique to that. Okay. And you need to know what that is. Okay. The seller's not arguing with you over how much they want. Are you feeling guilty you failed to do a subject to with the seller? Okay. A seller comes in and they owe too much. You can't do a subject to on a house that they owe more than what it's worth. You do a subject to when there's equity in it, right? Well, what are you doing when that person doesn't have any equity? You're failing them. You're letting them go to foreclosure. That's a failure. Short sale is a method, a segment, okay, that can help the homeowner out. You need to be there to help the homeowner. Remember, this is a know, like, and trust. It's a relationship business. You have to have a relationship with that seller, and you need to be able to help them. And another one, are you struggling with, you only make $20,000 on a rehab, okay? I make $80,000 on a wholesale, and I make $150,000 on rehabs. And these are just St. Louis houses, in St. Louis for $250,000 houses. And it's not California. I don't live in California. Okay. Now, I guess there's always this caveat, guys. All the thing I'm saying here is I'm not an attorney. I'm not an accountant, not a real estate agent. I don't play any of those on TV. And I'm not giving you any financial advice or legal advice. I'm just telling you what I know. Okay. None of this presentation, written or verbal, is any kind of tax or legal advice. It's just my experience with short sales over the past 11 years. Okay. What is a short sale? Okay. So some of you may know, some of you look familiar on here. Some of you don't look familiar. But what is a short sale? Why do they not work? Why do you hear that? Why do you hear that from people? Okay. Hopefully you believe in the data that I showed you from Black Knight. Okay, now why do they not work? Why do people say they hate doing that? What is it? What is it they didn't understand? Okay, here, location, location, location. This is the number one thing you need to remember in a short sale. It is that the seller missed one house payment. That's it. They missed one house payment. They don't even have to be underwater, guys. That's not what you need to do a short sale. When I'm buying a house for $29,000 and they owed $190 on it, okay, if the bank accepts a price lower than what the loan is, that is a short sale. Okay, it's what the bank agrees, so that becomes a short sale. Let's say they had a little bit of equity in it, but if the bank wants to dump the house, they're going to sell it at a much lower price. So therefore, all you're looking for is a homeowner who's missed one house payment. Okay, now, technically, what is this? Okay, so a homeowner, they owe more than what they get from selling the house. So in other words, if they put it up on the market and they try to sell it, the payoff at the closing won't pay off what they owe. But here's what people forget. It's not only the mortgage, the principal owed, any missed payments, any penalties, any second loans, home equity lines of credit, judgments, tax liens. That's the total amount owed. It's not just the mortgage. So many people think it's the mortgage, okay? Another fact, now most of you are on here learning to be investors, and you understand that any normal sale of a house only brings about 85, 90% of list price, because you got 6% commission, $1,000 for inspections, another $1,000 for title company closing costs, and a lot of other factors that add up to about 90%. So you can't just say I owe 200,000, I'm going to list it for 200. You got to list it for 230 or 220 with it and stuff. And so you forget that. The homeowner owes more than what they're going to get from selling the house. Okay, so in that case, a lot of times there's a pending foreclosure. Okay, now in the state of Missouri, Georgia, Texas, and a lot of non-judicial states, they're only going to have maybe 30 or 60 days to sell the house. Interesting fact for those in Missouri, there's actually two 30-day letters that come out from the attorney to the homeowner. Okay, and in the state of Missouri, they only require them to put an ad in the newspaper for 21 days. In Georgia, they only have to post it for 30 days. Okay, in Texas, 21 days. So all my Georgia fans out there, you got 9 days more than me. You guys are lazy bums. Okay, you got an extra 9 days. Us Texans and Missourians, we only got 21 days to stop the foreclosure. Stop it is all we have to do. We don't do the short sale. A lot of times, guys, on these houses, there's a lot of deferred maintenance and repairs needed. The seller can't afford to pay for those, okay? They can't put the house up in a condition to sell it on the market that most normal buyers are willing to take, okay? So, when you got a foreclosure coming up, a buyer doesn't have time to get a traditional loan. The approval process, takes 45 days. And in Missouri, the 21 days the house is foreclosed on. Also, the lender requires the home to be as is. You can't have a traditional buyer turn in an inspection notice. It doesn't work. Okay. They don't want the seller spending any money on repairs. They want them to pay back the money. So basically, the buyer has to buy the house as is and not try to get the seller to fix anything. The lender has to approve the buyer. Can you believe that? The buyer can't change either. So you have to get an approval from the bank for the buyer entity that you're using, okay? One of your entities. You're the negotiator, and one of your entities is the buyer. Because remember, guys, I've told this before, I am teaching you to make $50,000 to $150,000 profit, not to be running around playing like you're a realtor doing this for a flat fee for somebody else. Why do you want to do a short sale for somebody else for a $5,000 flat fee that's going to make them $50,000? This skill I am teaching you is so valuable, you're not going to be doing it for $5,000 for someone else. Okay, I'm not teaching you to be a flat fee negotiator. I'm teaching you to be an investor with you making the profit. Okay, some other things you got to understand here so that they don't fail. Why do people not like short sales? They don't understand this. Okay, the buyer can't be related to the seller. Okay, so the seller is somebody that the bank doesn't like. They're not happy with them. They're not paying them back. So they're not going to let the seller sell the house to their sister or their brother or their son or daughter. Okay, the buyer cannot be related to the seller. Matter of fact, all parties have to be unrelated. The listing agent, the buying agent, the seller, the buyer, even the title company person has to be unrelated to the seller. And so sometimes, you might have the buyer is the realtor. That's okay. All they do is cut the commission to zero. So you can be a realtor and you can be the buyer on a short sale. It's just you're not going to get your commission, but that's okay. What do you care if you're going to make $100,000 on the house so you don't get 6% commission? It's perfectly fine. Okay. The lender has very specific realtor documents and lender forms that they need. This is where so many people have messed that up. That's an entire topic. Okay. There's certain items that they need to see on these documents or they will deny the short sale. This is the biggest factor that most realtors have said they hate short sales. They don't like them because they turn in the documents and they say, what? Well, the bank lost them. The bank didn't lose them, guys. It's a $2 billion company. They don't lose stuff, okay? They got your documents and they weren't filled out right, and they don't want to explain to you why they're filled out wrong. So they tell you they lost them, okay? They don't lose my documents, ever, okay? Ever. In 11 years, they've never lost a single document. Now they have lost one page out of a 50-page fax for some reason. It probably was my scanner, right? Okay, but these documents need to have certain statements on them, and it's very important and stuff. Okay, so now what is a short sale? Okay, the lender, the bank, is going to negotiate the sales price. So the bank determines what the house is worth. They'll determine what the house will be sold for. Okay. And they're actually looking at the net to the bank. So it's not technically the listing price, but it's what's the net on the HUD after real estate taxes, commissions, and other items. Okay, now the lender negotiates with either the listing agent or the listing agent short sale processor. That's you. How do I get these fingers in at the same time? That's you guys. Point to my screen. Okay, all you guys on here, you are the short sale processor. That's your job. That's what I'm teaching you. The buyer is going to be one of your entities, and that's another long discussion. Okay, and it's a very important one because all parties have to be unrelated on paper, and that's you can email me questions, you can throw questions in the chat box if you want, and everything. And so, example of a house. Okay, this is one that I did a while back here with it. It's an interesting one because it was an older lady who had rained very hard, and the subdivision didn't have any good drainage by the city. And this tree limb came down the street, hit the window in the basement and busted it. And it was not a walkout basement. It was just a normal basement. Guess what that becomes in a flood? A swimming pool. She hears this noise. She goes over the kitchen to go downstairs. Her first step, she hits splash, she hits water, full basement, water heater, furnace, electric panel, everything underwater. Okay. And the bank was foreclosing on her because they told her she had to fix the house up. Okay. That was her fault. Insurance said, you don't have any flood insurance. So they didn't pay anything. And so I stepped into the short sale and don't have time to go through the actual case study of how that worked. But basically, this was a short sale. The bank, wanted them to pay for it. Insurance wouldn't pay for it. So it was a three-way catch. I stepped into the situation to show the bank what the house was actually worth. They were claiming that there was only $2,500 worth of damage. Now, come on, guys, okay? The basement floods and it's only $2,500. The house molded. She had to move out and the city condemned it, okay? So anyway, so what were the numbers on this house? Okay, I sold it for $205,000, okay? I had 6 offers, 5 over list. Now, did you notice 2015? My houses have sold in 7 days or less at list price or higher for 10 years. This market is not exciting to me at all. I've been doing this for 11 years. My houses all sell in 7 days. So this house back in 2015 sold for $205,000. Okay, I put $71,000 into it, the full basement rehab and everything upstairs. So what do you guys think that I paid for that house? Okay, I want you to make a guess. Okay, and if you've been on this before and you've seen this house, you might guess right. But 205 minus 71 is 134. So I'll give you a clue. I paid less than $134,000 for the house. Okay, but this was a short sale, so we paid much less. What do you think we paid? 110. Good guess, Mark. Not a guess, but that's actually a good calculation. A lot of investors would calculate Mayo, and I think that comes out to around $120,000. And you're a little bit cheaper. I like that, Mark Rockwitz. Anybody else got a guess? We actually don't have time for a lot of guesses. Okay, so what would you pay for this house? Well, you're a little bit off, Mark. Okay, $33,900. I made $100,000 profit. Bought it for $33,900, put 71 into it, sold it for $205. That's a short sale. Now, I'm showing you my data because that's what I have here, and I know these houses intimately. I already showed you Carl, who did one this year with that. Even in this market, he did that in today's market. Okay, now, so let's kind of finish this up here. So, what is a short sale? Okay. All lenders want a broker price opinion. That's very key to the number I just showed you, $33,900. The bank sent me a letter and they forced me to pay $33,900. They said, David, if you want this house, you have to pay $33,900, and we're wiping out all the debt for the homeowner. The homeowner will owe nothing forever, and you have to accept that. And I said, well, okay, I'll pay $33,900 for it. But they determine it. They're a 600-pound gorilla. They do this broker price opinion and they determine the value. Now, if it's an FHA loan, if the homeowner had an FHA loan on that house, they actually require a full appraisal, which is different. Okay, a BPO is done by a realtor, and it's like $50. And an appraisal, everybody knows what an appraisal is, and that's a little bit more detailed. And so I may only make $80,000 on those houses, okay, with FHA, because they go into more detail. Anyway, wrap this up. What is it? Okay, the result of all this work ends up being an approval letter. Okay, this is an approval letter that tells you all the conditions, what you pay, how much the real estate taxes are allowed, that there's no deficiency, and it gives you 30 days to close on it. So then at that point, you go to closing. Now to do that, to achieve all of that, this process can take 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, okay? 9 months is on the upper end. You got to figure on at least 3 months, but that's okay, guys. Rebecca, don't quit your day job, okay? Keep your day job while you're starting to do short sales. It doesn't take very much time to do a short sale, okay? I did one in 22 hours over 2 months. It's not a lot of time, even though it takes 3 months or 6 months, the number of hours each week, and sometimes you go for 2 weeks with no work at all, you don't want to quit your job. You'll get pretty bored. Now, when you get about 10 of these in the pipeline and everyone's popping off every month, and you start rehabbing, then quit. Well, I'm not going to tell you to quit your job, okay? But, there's nothing to do very much. And so, when you start to rehab, then you might, want to quit your job because then you're busy rehabbing, okay? Now, okay, certain loans, now you need to be aware of this. Certain loans have deed restrictions, okay? And they prevent you from selling it at any price within 30 days. And then you can't sell for more than 20% of what you paid for it. So if you paid 100 for it, you cannot sell it for any more than $120,000 until the 91st day. And these are called Fannie Mae short sales. So just be aware of that. It's not a problem. Do you think I would have had a problem holding that house at $33,900 for 90 days? Not a problem, but it doesn't matter. I rehabbed it anyway. So I'm busy. But if I was going to wholesale it, okay, I hold it for 90 days. So what? Okay. Anybody will lend you money for that deal, right? And so yes, you're going to pay some extra points and some interest. And so instead of, making, what did I make, 100,000, you're going to make 95, no big deal. Okay. Why do you do them? Okay. Well, the reason you do them is because if you don't, the homeowner, the seller, the borrower is going to get foreclosed on. Okay. If the bank isn't paid in full, okay, they're going to foreclose. So the bank has to agree to pay less, to get paid less. And that's a short sale. They're agreeing to get paid less. And that's the definition of a short sale. They take less than what's owed. Why do you do them? Well, the borrower is going to have a deficiency. In most all states, Arizona is an exception, but in most states, there's a deficiency. So if it gets foreclosed on, they're going to owe all the money. Not only do you lose the house, okay, you still owe all the money. And so the bank is going to do whatever they do with the house, and there'll be a deficiency amount from what they were owed, the big number, okay, versus what they sell it for. And so they're going to owe all that. Instead, if you do a short sale, the bank is going to actually possibly pay the money. Okay, FHA will pay them $3,000 under most conditions. Fannie Mae will pay $1,500. That is a whole lot better than having a deficiency. You can actually get paid by the bank at the closing. Here's the other one. The borrower is going to have about a 300-point hit on their credit score for the next 7 years. Okay, that's horrible. So that's why you do them, so you can prevent these things from happening. Here's a couple of important reasons for the seller to avoid foreclosure. The borrower may have to file bankruptcy. So they should never go to a foreclosure. So they'll have to file bankruptcy. That costs them money. If it goes to foreclosure, they have to move out. In a short sale, they get to stay in the house the whole 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, saving their money up. Okay, very important. Okay, the main reason, guys, here's why you do them. Okay, it's the gratification helping families out. They cry at the closing table with relief. You have taken a burden off of them. You've removed the deficiency. They haven't had the money to take care of the house. You've allowed them to be able to start over somewhere else with a clean slate. They're crying at the closing table with relief. I'm crying because I'm making $150,000 and we're both crying on each other's shoulder, okay? I'm crying for one reason, they're crying for another. And they know how much money I'm going to make on the house. I tell them that up in the very front. That's another discussion. We don't have time for it today. Why do them? Hey, once again, location, 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 right? In real estate, well, in a short sale, it's massive profits, massive profits, massive profits, guys, okay? And it's not just me. You heard Carl's testimony, and there's, lots of others. Okay, well, here's another hat. So do you notice how I give you the addresses there, guys? Snap a picture of that. Go look it up on public records. I'm very open, okay? It's not my money, it's God's money. And I'm just a steward of it, helping families out and making a great profit, providing new houses for people, helping families out. And guess what? The banks love me because I'm getting them out of a bad situation. They can't loan the money out. They have to pull back 10 to 15 times that amount because it's a non-performing loan. When you end that loan, and they get paid back, they can now go back out and lend money in the open market. See, so the banks like us too. Okay, so this was a hoarder house. Hoarders, you heard of them? They pile everything up in the house, and so there's no way they could put this on the MLS and sell the house. They wouldn't be able to handle it mentally, having people in their house, and they were actually in such bad shape as hoarders. They put stuff in the aisleways. That's a cardinal rule. So when you're a hoarder, you pile things on the side of your bedroom walls and your hallway and you walk in between everything. They're in such dire straits that they were putting dishes and clothes and stuff in the walking way. And that's a clear violation of being a hoarder. They needed out of this house very badly. So I stepped in, did the short sale at the bank, showed the bank what this house was really worth. They sent out their person and they came up with their own number. Okay. Now I rehabbed it. Okay. I sold it for $274,000. I put 79 into it because it was I finished the basement. That cost money too. New cabinets, new floors. I'm a rehabber, guys. I rehab 5 to 10 houses a year. Okay. I told you they've all sold in 7 days or less at list price or higher. And so basically, so what did I pay for this house? Okay. It has to be less than 190. Okay. So let's see if Mark can come up with a better number here. So it has to be less than 194. It has to be less than 194. You want to throw another number out there, Mark? You're a little high before. We'll see if we can get you trained to think like a short sale person. Okay, what would you pay for this house? Less than 194,000. Come on, Mark, don't be afraid. I didn't mean to pick on you, but Michelle, you want to throw out a price? Okay, go ahead, guys. You guys are all bashful. Okay, anyway, so basically, 65,000. Okay. All right, Mark, you're doing better. Good job, Mark. We'll get you ready for short sale, to be a short sale person. Made $130,000, guys. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and keep moving on here. I rehabbed it, made $130,000 on it. Does that answer the question of why you do short sales? Why do them? Okay, well, let's look at another one. Okay. So, so I showed you some, not cheap houses. Okay. We're in the 200 range, the 275. Does this scale up? Okay, I don't know where you guys are at. Are you in California? Boy, I wish I was in California. Are you in the East Coast? How much do houses sell for? Is this scalable? Can I make more money if the house costs more, or if it's a better ARV, right? Okay, well, let's just take a look at that. Okay, so this was a house. I'll skip the story. Well, a quick story on what happened here. They won the lottery. They won, like, I don't know if it was $1 million, 10 million, or something like that. And the statistics, everyone that wins the lottery, X number of years later, they're in worse shape than they were before. And that's what the case was here. They put in an in-ground hot tub inside the house. This house was decked out, and then they lost all their money, and they couldn't make any payments because they borrowed everything and then spent their money and then couldn't make the payments, and then other issues that we don't have time for. But this is a higher price house. So I sold it for $389, and I put $80,000 in it. You kind of notice the pattern. My rehabs are all about the same because I only know how to do one thing. I rip everything out and put it in. So I had to pay less than $310. Okay, so do you want to try again, Mark? Are you ready to be a short sale expert here? So less than 310, right? 390 minus 80, less than 310. What did I pay, Mark? Okay. So while Mark's thinking of a number, I will answer Rebecca's question. Wyoming, cool, okay. Close to Nebraska, Colorado, and South Dakota. Family in Texas, where's the best place to use your method? In every single state. Short sales are federal, they're not state specific, okay? You have judicial and non-judicial, and I'll talk about that later. Rebecca, great question. And also, Mark, you dirty rat. Okay, I should have just gone to the answer. Okay, 168,000. So you're 219, but you recanted, and I like that. I made 141,000, guys, on that house. Now I call this my vacation bound house, guys, and here's why. The day they wired $141,000 to my account, I was sitting in my car on the phone, because you do your checking account, on the phone now, and that wire came across. It was 141,800. Some round, is another number, but I rounded it off, and I'm like, my God, that's a lot of money. And I called my wife up and I said, honey, I want you to book a vacation on an island, a resort island, okay? And of course, she had no complaints on it. So 3 days later, we flew out on an airplane to an island with an all-encompassing, all-inclusive resort. Okay, all your food was included, all your alcohol. I had to learn to drink, and I don't drink, guys, but it was free alcohol. So I had to learn to drink. That's my vacation-bound house. If you can't take what you're making and enjoy your life with your wife and your family, what are you doing this for? Okay. This is about changing your life, not about making money. And so I'll always remember this house. Okay. Does that answer the question why you do them? Okay. Let's look at another one. Okay. We're going to do this super quick. This is an example of a house I didn't do anything to. So you said, Dave, you rehabbed 3 in a row. Okay. I didn't do anything here. Okay. I sold it for $240 cash. One offer in 5 days. I put $2,200 in it. I paid my son to fix the squeaks in the floor. I hate squeaky floors. And so he fixed the squeaks and I paid for some utilities. Okay. We'll just skip it here. I made 80 grand on this house and all I did was fix squeaky floors. Okay. And sold it in 5 days. So you can do this with wholesaling. Does that answer the question why? Well, we don't have time to go through anymore. Okay. So anyway, there's actually, this is a freebie, guys. If you want the one document, the one very important document that lets you do this, okay, with the bank and with the seller, text the word short. Okay, I've got my contact info in the chat box for Rebecca. I'll paste it in there. And Rebecca, are you a rehabber, contractor? Feel free to share your information in the chat box. Okay, you should be able to save it with the 3 dots on the right hand side with it and everything. But there's one document that you need, and if you text short, I'll give you that document. 636. Now I won't do it right now because I'm talking to you, but after we get off the Zoom here, text short to 636-685-2990, and I will give you the one document that lets you do all of this with the bank and with the homeowner stuff. But anyway, let's go ahead and move on here with it. Okay, so this back to Rebecca's question about other states. So one key factor that you might want to know is the state judicial or non-judicial? Okay, judicial means that to foreclose on the homeowner, bank has to use a judge and submit documents, and they have to have a court date and another court date, and so it takes longer. In a non-judicial state like Georgia, Texas, Missouri, a lot of other states are non-judicial. They just have to put their legal description and name and address in a newspaper for 21 days. And I'll cover that later on. I'm going to show you how to find them. Okay, we'll get to how to find them. But this statement is in here to say that judicial and non-judicial only affects your marketing to the homeowner. How much time do you have? Okay, in Georgia, you've got 30 days. Okay, so your marketing is very quick. In Illinois, I think it's Wyoming. I have to look that up, Rebecca. I don't recall, with which one it is. I don't remember all the states. I've got it on a sheet of paper, but that just affects how long you have to market to the homeowner to get them to agree to let you help them out. So keep that in mind. The process is federal. The paperwork is federal. The things that you do that we don't have time to go over is all federal, and it's common in all states. How do you get these people? Where are these people at? Okay, how do we find them? Okay, so I kind of got this little statement here. Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. That's who you're looking for. You're looking for families in trouble, families that need help. This is why I started doing this with my wife in 2010, 2009, was to help families. That was a great crisis back then, and it's a great crisis now today, 10 years later. I just have been doing them the whole time. I never got the memo to quit, but that was what you're doing. You're looking for people that are in trouble, health issues, financial issues, problems with the house. And that's who you're trying to reach out to, and they need to like you. They need to believe that you can help them in some way. Don't talk to them on the phone and say, hey, Dave said I can make $50,000 to $150,000 profit on each short sale house. Would you please let me do a short sale on your house? That's not what you say to them. They need to hear that you understand what the process is, how you can help to stop the foreclosure, keep them in the house longer, remove the deficiency, get them some money to move. They need to hear that you care about their situation. They need to believe that you can help them in some way. Remember, I started out this presentation with, the Matrix movie. Are you going to take the blue pill or the red pill? And I told you, I'm offering you a different pill, the green pill, okay? The pill that gets you green cash, profit, money, and helping people out, okay? They need to believe that you can help them in some way. Now, how do you do this? Through marketing. Okay, marketing is a big part of how you get short sales, kind of thing. Let's go find the trees. If a tree falls, does it make a noise? Let's go to the forest. Let's go where they are. Okay, and what is that? We know that any failed short sale, because remember in the beginning I said the definition of a short sale is they missed one house payment. Don't let anybody else try to trick you that it's some other definition. You just have to miss one house payment. I don't care what they owe, okay? I don't want to do a subject to on a house that I can do a short sale on, okay? If the homeowner is in a situation where they're going to lose it to foreclosure, and I've got the ability to stop that through a short sale method and protect them, then I will. Subject to is going to require the loan to be caught up, and that's going to require, a financial situation that might not be able to occur with the homeowner. So the short sale will be able to stop that. So here's what we want to do. Any failed short sale becomes a foreclosure. So let's go to where the foreclosures are and let's get those people, okay? Now, what happens is they're desperate because in 21 days, 30 days, Illinois, 90 days, other states are longer, they're not going to have any place to live, okay? Everything that they've tried has not worked. The bank is foreclosing, okay? The homeowners are usually willing to provide anything needed to postpone the foreclosure. I mean, wouldn't you, if you're about to be kicked out of the house and there's this legal notice and you finally realize you're in trouble and then step in with lots of excuses, they have a lot of excuses, but now at this point, you're a third party coming in to help them, okay? And then you're going to deal with the bank directly and they only have to talk to you. And so then they're willing to help you. They'll provide anything that you need that you ask them for. Okay. Now the other one, how do you get them? Look, they could have found a buyer. They would have already, right? I mean, they've had time. They've gotten notices. They would have already had one if they could. They usually do not expect to get any money from the sale. If they expected to get money, don't you think they would list the home if they expected that? So a lot of times they're not expecting to get any money. They're underwater. They can't sell it. They owe more than what it's worth. So now your goals are aligned with the seller and the bank. Both want to get the loan paid off, okay? So you need to kind of write these down, guys. And like I said earlier, if you text short to my phone number, 636-685-2990, I'll give you all these slides, but you should be writing this down or making note. This is how you can help them. This is what you tell to them. These are the features and benefits of a short sale that they need to be aware of, that you need to tell them. You need to tell them that you can give them more time to live in the house with no payments. It's not required that they make any house payments during a short sale. You have methods to satisfy the lender's requirements. You know what the banks want, okay? Not in this hour presentation, you don't, but if you learn short sales, you come back to other monthly presentations, you go to my website, davidrandolph.com, and get more information there, about and learn more about short sales. The methods you need to work with the lender, what the lender's requirements are. We're going to cover some of them in a minute, okay? Not all of them in depth, but you will know how to satisfy the lender. You're willing to get from the borrower what the bank needs. The bank says, I need this, okay? And you simply go to the homeowner and you tell them, I need this, and they give it to you and you give it to the bank, okay? So you have a buyer for the house, cash as is. Okay, very important, guys. Your purchase sale contract must be cash as is. You're going to get them some money to move most of the time. Let's call it 90%. There's some certain rules and things that might prevent them. If they've got certain types of liens on the property, that's going to take up all their money. Okay, but then at least they get some of that debt paid off. But 90% of the time, the bank will pay them money to move. You will never pay them. Okay. You get the bank paid off, the seller gets rid of the debt forever, and then you own the house. Okay, that's what everybody has. Here's a recent house that I did back in 2020. I don't remember why I'm showing this house here. I sold it for $275. I put $95,000 in it. I paid $29,000. I guess I wanted to show you a more recent house, 2020, right? Yeah, that's what it was, 2020. Okay, so in 2020, I bought it for $29,000. $29,000. I'm not kidding you guys. I give you that. Here, write it down, guys. There's your address. Go look it up. Do your Zillow right now, okay, or whatever tool you have. Look it up. $29,600. made $150,000 in today's market, okay, with it. So you can do these, okay. Now, what are the very best leads? Let's move on. Where to find them, okay? We're following a system here. Where do we find them now? What are the very best leads for short sales? What are they? Okay, so here's some facts that you need to know. Okay, so I'll go ahead and pause and see if we have a question here. Don't do that. So I'm just going to read your question. Oh, I meet family members that go to the sales at the courthouse steps. They go to see if their house sells, so they know if they have to move out. I feel so bad for them. I have helped them move or helped them save their home. Very sad to see families in this situation. That's a great thing to, yes, that's absolutely true. So Rebecca, you have a heart for those people, and now you need to reach them before they're in that situation, okay? You need to reach them before that foreclosure date, because then you can help them. Now I will give you a little trick that you can do with it. And so, for those people that won't let me do a short sale and they let it go to foreclosure, here's what I tell them. I said, take a bunch of boxes, put them in the entry foyer of the house. And then when the bank takes the house back and they send a realtor out and they knock on the door, open the door and say, hey, could you give me some time to move? I'm trying to pack, and have these empty boxes in the window and by the door. And then 9 times out of 10, the realtor will give them another week to move out, okay? So it's a little trick that you can help. So when you're at the courthouse steps and you see that happen, suggest that they go back home, get a bunch of boxes and half packed, sit them in the doorway. And then when that realtor comes knocking, tell them not to cuss at the realtor. Don't wave a gun at them. Be very nice to them and ask them for some more time to move out, okay? And so a lot of times you can get them another week, just a little trick there. But what you want to do is help them not get in that situation. So where do we find them? Okay, and this is in all states. The lender is required to post the legal description and the borrower's name in a legal newspaper. So every county in the United States has a legal newspaper. This is where they post government bids, divorces, legal actions, and this is where they have to post for a certain number of days. Illinois is 90 days, the legal description. That's where you're going to go. Okay, I don't want you to go to www.foreclosurex, givemealead.com, or some other www thing and pay for leads that are late, they're wrong, they're not updated. I'm teaching you, okay, you guys are very special as part of this group, how to get them where everybody else tries to get them from. I'm taking you to the source, okay? And that's the county legal newspaper. Now, obviously, we want to find the online version of the newspaper, right? Because you don't want to have to go buy the paper and flip through pages. You want this electronic, right? Okay, and stuff. So, so let's target these people. Okay, that's what we want to do is to target these people. Okay. So that's the simplest way. Those that have a foreclosure date, that's the lowest hanging fruit. Okay, so we're gonna look for the online access. Now, I apologize, I can't show every state or every county's location. If you want to contact me later, I've got it for other states. If you're in Georgia, I recently did it for Georgia and Fulton County for a lot of the Atlanta people. But this is a method. I want you to look at my method, not the actual website. This is for Missouri, Kansas City, and St. Louis. But what I'm about to kind of show you, well, I don't actually have time to show you because we're running so late. Oh my goodness, with it. But this is the website you go to, and so give you an idea. It only costs $49 a month. Now this isn't foreclosure.com or something like that. This is the actual legal newspaper online version. So they do charge you $49 for all these counties, in this area. Okay, Jackson County, Kansas City, $49 a month. Okay, and so this is the website you go to. Now it will look different. Well, actually, it won't look different for you, but the website will be different. But all these legal newspapers have an online version, that's going to show you, how to go on here and search and get the names and addresses for these people. Okay, and I don't have time. Okay, so I had this is part of a much longer presentation that I teach, and so I don't have time to go through all the slides of what you click on and what you do on there. But basically, that's the point. Find the legal newspaper. If you want help, contact me separately. And I've got lots of other counties all across. I got coaching students in 5 different states, and I've got people that are doing my short sales in many other states that aren't even one-on-one coaching students. So I've got a lot of other counties out there. If not, I can show you how to find them. But let's move on. What's the best method to market to them? We found them. We've got their name and their address. Okay. Now, what's the marketing method? Here's what I like, guys. Direct mail marketing. I like it because it's easy. You can pay an old lady to handwrite letters, to type letters. Okay. This isn't mass marketing. Okay. Wholesaling, great. And a lot of people teach, getting, batchmeup.leads and, all the other kinds of websites that are out there. I think, what are some of the others that are out there? Homefreedom.com, what is it? Property Street. There's lots of ones out there. Okay. And you can do mass marketing, but this is not mass marketing. Do you see that? Maybe 50 per month. Okay. So in St. Charles County, for me, there's 50 foreclosures a month. I just need one, guys. There's 49 left. The next month it starts all over. This isn't mass marketing. I just mailed to 50 people per month. Now, you need multiple letters, okay? You need to tell them that they have options. There's some very important options. You need to text them and do voice phone calls if there's no response to your letter. Now, that's kind of a little extra work. I don't do that a lot anymore because now if it's like the 20th of the month, I might call them. But if they call me on the 5th of the month, I've got my one for the month. I don't answer the phone the rest of the month. The other 49 letters, I'm sorry, Rebecca wasn't here for me to help them in the state of Missouri and to take care of the other 49. They went to foreclosure. Okay, now if it's the 20th of the month and I don't have somebody, then I might call them, I might text them. But you need to send them, did you see it? Multiple letters, okay? So it's a lot of letters to a small number of people. And you can pay somebody to do that. You really need to have a script. What you kind of say to them. Now, scripts are terrible. I don't like scripts because as soon as you get 2 things down into it, you've branched out in a tree that there's no way you can follow a script. But you have concepts that you need to follow, okay, with it. And there's 3 important facts, of a foreclosure that you need to tell them about. And we don't have time to go through it, but it's basically talking about the net they get, the profit, that you're going to get from the house. Okay, you got to be really clear that you're doing this for a profit. And there's some very important things, which is that you're going to buy their house. They need to understand that you're not a realtor. You're not you're not selling the house to somebody else. You're not acting in a real estate or a real estate agent capacity or in a realtor capacity. You're doing this for you. You're buying the house. And those are some very important things that you need to do. Okay, so in summary, we're not done yet. Boy, we're going to go over. So I apologize with it, but they say it's okay to go over. So in summary, you can make a lot of money negotiating directly with the bank as an investor. This is not, you can be a realtor. An investor realtor is actually a plus, but you're not doing it as a realtor to take on 100 listings for everybody else. Okay, I mean, if you've got the skill to make $100,000 profit on a house, don't do that for a flat fee for somebody else. Do it for you and your family. Okay, leave a legacy for your children. In summary, you can help families out of a crisis. It's still occurring. Okay, pre-pandemic, okay, there were 40 foreclosures a month in my county of St. Charles. In the city of St. Louis, there were 300 a month. Pre-pandemic, okay, today it's 5 times the number. Because of the forbearance, the pandemic. There's somebody out there. It's in county shows 113 properties in Jackson County. They had 35. So we're not talking big numbers. We'd have to look up your location. I just tried to pick a few locations. Remember, a foreclosure is a failed short sale. Okay, somebody failed to do them. Okay, and so how long does it take to do a short sale? Okay, so some people said, how long does it take? Well, here's an example. I did this short sale in 2 months. I Zoom recorded the entire process. I wanted a training video for my students Okay, so I only disputed the price one time. This was done on a Fannie Mae portal and it was with a local bank. So 2 months is the fastest you can possibly do it. There was 22 hours of recordings. Okay, that's how much time it takes. It doesn't take a lot of time. I only disputed once. Okay, I could have disputed more, but I needed the training videos for my coaching students. So I couldn't get the house as low of a price that I wanted. Okay, but that's okay. I paid $58,000 for it. I could have got it for 40. I put 42 in it and I sold it for 220 and I made 118,000. That was in August, just a couple months ago. That was in August, today's market, okay, with it. So now, what does the short sale opportunity present to you? What's this opportunity? What are short sales going to do for you? Let's summarize this and end it. Okay, we're going to fly through these slides. This is more of a summary. What does a short sale opportunity mean for you? Are you going to, Rebecca, are you going to try and buy houses on courthouse steps? Michelle, are you going to do probates? Mark, what are you guys going to do? How are you going to buy houses? Okay, short sale is one method of buying houses, but in this opportunity that short sales present to you, there are no other buyers. Okay, that is unbelievable benefit. Okay, the seller doesn't care what the price is. Unbelievable benefit. Okay, I mean that's the two problems that we said in the beginning people have. You can learn exactly what a short sale is and is not versus a realtor. Realtors just process paperwork. If you are an investor, you learn and are able to do and know exactly what the short sale process is with the banks. You have ready to go. You learn how to find ready to go sellers, homeowners that you can reach out to. We already talked about that. You learn short sales. You're going to know how to market to them to get them to call. You learn how to talk to the seller and convince them to do a short sale. You have these facts. I gave you a lot of facts, and you can get the slides if you text short to 636-685-2990. But you should be making notes, okay? Because they don't know. Some Google short sale and they might know a little, okay? But you're the expert. You learn and you understand. You choose to be. This is a method to buy houses, okay? You learn how to get them to sign the proper forms so the banks don't use them. You need to learn what houses to do on a short sale and not do in today's market. Okay, there are houses that you shouldn't do short sales on. I pick the houses I want to do. I pick the families that I want to help out. I don't pick families that have excuses. Okay, look, I don't even pick if the homeowner asks me why I need their social security number twice, I don't work with them. I want them to jump up in the air and ask me how high should they jump for me to help them. Okay, you want to be there for people that need your help, not people that are mad at the bank, that are trying to screw the bank, that owe the money and they don't want to pay it back. They've got $100,000 in the bank. This is not who we work with. Okay, you need to learn what houses to do a short sale on and to not do them on. You need that form, okay, that lets you do all this with the bank. You have to have the right authorization with the bank. You need to have a email template. See, you don't go to their houses, guys. Okay, you get letters, direct mail. You can pay anybody to do it. Okay, you receive phone calls. You send them an email with the document that they need to do, and you have an email template so that kind of covers you. So that when the homeowner is working with you, they understand what your role is. What are you doing? Okay. You need a marketing letter that starts this all off. It's very key. You have a short period of time. Now, if you're in a judicial state and you got 90 days, maybe you can make a guess at the marketing letters. But there's really a very important marketing letter that starts it all off. And I kind of alluded to it earlier. We don't have time to go through the entire letter. You need to know that it's wrong to look at how much they owe. I don't care what they owe, guys. I bought a house for $29,000, $33,000. They owed $200. They owed $150. They owed $300. It's not relevant what they owe. That's wrong. It's false. It's not relevant how much they owe. Matter of fact, I've been afraid to do a short sale on a free and clear house. I know it's a little bit of a ridiculous statement because there is no bank, and and that's true, but nonetheless, I just don't care what the loan is on the house. I'm there to help the family out of a foreclosure, and then to bring this house up into a condition that other people can buy. The opportunity, short sale opportunities, it's wrong to offer Mayo. Okay, so we've got, I guess, looks like, yeah, I have some people left on here, but anyway, you don't, it's not the Mayo calculation. It's much, much lower. Okay, it's wrong to buy short sale house listed on the MLS. Let me reiterate that you're not looking for short sales on the MLS with a realtor. The realtor already screwed it up. Nothing against the realtor, they're just not trained. You're not buying them on the MLS listed as a short sale. You're going straight to the homeowner. It's wrong to get a contractor repair estimate for the repairs. Okay, that's a longer discussion. So, we have monthly presentations. I can't go into all these, but these are facts you need to understand. It's wrong to pay cash for the house. Don't get me wrong. You must offer cash and you must offer as is, but you don't close in cash. Okay, you can buy a house without cash. That blows a lot of people's mind. I don't want to do short sales because I don't have any cash to buy it. You don't pay cash, you can get a loan, okay, with it. It's wrong for the seller to make the mortgage payments. In a short sale, they're going to wipe all the debt out. It doesn't matter if it's $200,000 now and $250,000 later. It all gets wiped out. So it's not required that the seller make mortgage payments. It's wrong for you to list the house for sale. Oh my gosh, that's going to blow your mind. It's wrong for you to list the house for sale. Okay, and the whole definition of list for sale is what I'm talking about. That's wrong. It's wrong for you to be the buyer. Okay, who are you? Okay, remember I talked about that. There's a listing agent, selling agent, negotiator, buyer, title. Who are you and what capacity are you acting in? Okay, you need to know what to do with that authorization form, that document. If you text me, I'll give you that form. You need to know what to say to the lender to stop a foreclosure and when you can. Okay, you need to know what to do if you can't stop the foreclosure. You need to have the right forms to be filled out by the seller. Okay, you need to know what forms are needed by the bank. There's a lot of steps to this. This isn't a YouTube University thing that you're going to learn. What you learn on YouTube University is people giving away some tidbit that's free. There's 300 steps here, guys. Okay, and you make one wrong step and you get zapped by the laser beam. Okay, you need to learn how to dance to the music. You need to understand and study this. Okay, it's easy. It's very simple. You just need to know what it is. You need to know what documents are needed by the realtor. Okay, there's certain documents in a short sale process that the realtor broker needs. There's a crucial step that's important in determining the value the bank wants for the house. Okay, remember, they don't care what the loan is. Okay, they got other reasons for selling, and you need to know what that value is that the bank will take for the house. And once again, we talked about the document that lets you get started. Are you ready to make investments in your business? Short sale is a way to run a business, either rehabbing, wholesaling, or renting. You can do a short sale and rental houses. You can wholesale the houses. You can keep them and rehab them. So your exit strategy is multiple. Okay, we're just learning how to buy houses. Little background on me for those who don't know me. We'll fly through these and get the slides. I'm a chemical engineer. I retired at age 42 from my corporate job. My wife and I homeschooled for 4 years. In 2010, we became full-time real estate investors when my kids went off to college. Okay, I'm just a small guy. I'm not a syndicate. I'm not part of a company. I don't work for IBM. I don't work for some big real estate company, fortune builder. I don't work for any of those other big companies. Just a small guy with companies. I rehab 5 to 10 houses. All of them listed under 260 have sold in 7 days or less at list price or above for 10. Actually, I should change that. It's now 11 years. Okay, with it. And 16 through 18, they sold in 2 days or less. My typical profit, mine, not yours, mine is $90,000 per house because I negotiate short sales. That's how I buy my houses, directly with the homeowner and the lender. My homes are drop dead gorgeous. I'm a lender. I made almost $3 million in my IRAs. I will lend it out to you, okay, to other rehabbers and other wholesalers. I've been doing this for 6 years. This is my business. This is what I love to do, is to help new rehabbers out. I'll give you all the money to buy. all the money to fix up, all the money for the points, all the money for the monthly interest payments. You need $0 in your checking account in order to rehab houses. Okay. 2018, I started providing one-on-one real estate coaching and created some half-day workshops in how to calculate the ARV and the rehab, because people wanted to borrow from me and they didn't know what the rehab cost was or what the ARV was. So I created these workshops for those that needed lending back in 2018. 2019, guys, I became a Hollywood movie star. I did my first presentation on short sales in St. Louis. And you can actually get that presentation. It's what I showed you was a condensed version. I actually show you a lot more details. I even go through a full-length script. And so, if you text short to me, I can send you that longer video presentation. My wife recorded it on an iPad. It's not professional, but it was a presentation I did for that group. And guess what? People wanted me to start teaching them short sales. So in 2019, I started one-on-one short sale training and coaching. I developed 3 workshops and a monthly group coaching via Facebook. I know what I'm doing, guys, okay? I do this for a living. I teach other people now how to do it. I developed a basic workshop in 2019. 150 people have taken this workshop, and I don't even do any Facebook advertising, okay? This is just people that know me with it. Then I developed an intermediate and an advanced. You don't need to take either one of those, okay? And this is Carl. Okay, this is kind of cool here. Okay, listen to Carl.
Hello, this is David Randolph, and
The
I'm
house
here
he
with
just
Carl, and we're at the title company. We're kind of
hope
pretty
you can hear
excited today. Carl just closed on the purchase of his 3rd short sale. So I'm going to let Carl just kind of tell you about what some of the numbers are and how that is for him today.
Thanks, David. So we're at Continental Title here in St. Louis, Missouri. We just closed on a house for $82,500. The ARV on this house is near $250,000. We're expecting to put about $60,000 into it. Through David's one-on-one coaching program, I was able to work with the bank and secure a short sale. The bank was looking for significantly more than $82,500. We were able to get the homeowner out of the house as they wanted to do, and it was basically all due to David's one-on-one coaching, working me through all the way through all the processes of making this happen. Can't say much more about David's course except for it's fantastic.
Yeah, it's an exciting day. Thank you very much.
So guys, other people can do it. It's a method. It's not me. Okay, it's a method, and it's how you do the short sales. And so it's something you should consider as one way to buy houses. Okay, and actually, I've been told by Carl that he's able to retire now in January because he's got a pension from the city. Wasn't enough, and he didn't have enough savings. But this is you heard him, 3rd house for the year. Okay, it's made a big difference for him. So he's reaching his goals. Are you? Okay, I want you guys to do short sales. I'm in this super group leader position for short sales because it can change your life. That's why I've been selected to be your teacher for this, okay? You can do it. There is a way. Don't listen to the YouTubers who say you can't do short sales, that there are none, that they don't work, okay? And I can show you other testimonials. I'm not trying to sell you anything tonight. I'm trying to convince you. And as I said in the beginning, now, do you believe in short sales? I started this out, Rebecca, with the statement, do you believe in short sales? Okay, and I presented a lot of facts on the data. You can go back and watch the beginning from Black Knight and stuff. Do you believe in short sales? Okay, they can be done. Here's Arnie, okay, in Arkansas. He made $40,000 wholesaling a house, and all he did was take a basic workshop, okay? So anyway, we're done, guys. If you have any questions in the chat box, good, Rebecca. You need to have a heart for people, and when they see you have a heart, they're going to say yes, yes, yes. You don't even actually have to have all the facts. Now, I suggest that you learn the facts about a short sale, the deficiency, the paperwork that you need. But that's what they're going to hear in your voice is that you care for them, and that's what you need. So anyway, throw any questions. We got to wrap it up. We've gone way over on time. I appreciate you guys staying on. My goodness. With it. Here's my contact information. I love helping people out. You can get these slides, you can get more information, anything you heard tonight you want to get more of. You can get that full presentation that actually goes through the website I showed you of how to actually drill down and get their names and addresses. and I go through a actual script, and I go through several other things that I didn't have time, to go through in this one here with it and stuff. So that's my contact information. I appreciate it, guys. Any last questions or anything that you might have? I don't know if there's any way if you guys want to talk, is there a way that I can do that here? Yeah, I guess. So yeah, if anybody wants to talk on here, yeah, oh wow, you guys are muted. Okay, so I'm unmuting everybody here. Dang it. So Rebecca, go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, I just wanted to say thank you so much. And I'm so sorry that I was running late tonight and didn't get the whole program, but I had been advised by someone with REI that this is one of the best trainings.
Okay, well, you got cut off there. Well, the last we heard was this is one of the best trainings. And that was a great place to stop because it makes me feel great. But what did you say after that, Rebecca?
I was so glad that I made it to this training, and I think she was right. She gave me some great advice to make sure I was on this training, and I can't wait to learn more. We are really excited.
Yeah, there's families out there that need your help more than ever. This is one of the greatest transfers of wealth that we've had in the past 10 years. Okay, we went through this in 2009 and 10, and most people knew about the crisis. This crisis is buried behind the headlines. This crisis is buried behind the Biden tax cuts, this infrastructure, and people, and even the evictions. Okay, the rental evictions is a bigger story, but there's 1.6 million people, as of September 28th, that are in the forbearance plan that are now kicked out of it. Okay, and so this is going to be a big crisis. You need to be there to help these families out with it and stuff. And so it can be done. I've been doing it for 10 years. I've got students doing it to prove that other people can do it. Other questions? Mark, Rebecca, Michelle, anybody else on who got a question?
While I'm gone, can you wash everything on my bed for me? Because they keep running on me.
Michelle, did you have a question?
Hi, I just
Hi.
wanted to thank you as well for the valuable information. I definitely want to do short sales as well. I've been going through my prop stream and looking at all the foreclosures here. I'm in the Bay Area, San Francisco Bay Area. So it's a
Okay,
lot
great.
here in this area. But
Well,
I am going to,
Michelle, let me stop
Yeah.
you there. I'm
Okay.
not saying anything bad against PropStream, but that's one of the multiple organizations that aggregates the data. Earlier, I showed you unfortunately, it is for Missouri, but I teach you to go straight to the site, to the county legal newspaper to get them. You'll have the data before anyone else will by definition, because they have to go there and get it, and they aggregate it later and they don't update it. But I teach you to get it yourself, okay, directly with it and stuff.
I got it. I took my notes on all of that. I got all that information.
Yeah.
I'm just
and-
stating that this before now, I've been using PropStream for other things too, because I'm wholesaling as well. So
And keep using it, Michelle. It's a great tool for a lot of other reasons. Okay, you can get a lot of comps and a lot of data on houses. You can do an ARB calculate. There's a lot of good stuff. I'm just telling you, which you already acknowledged, is that you will go and find the county or contact me outside of here to find the website address for your county you want to do them in. Rebecca, did you have a question? You raised your hand, Rebecca.
Oh, thank you. Yes, I was wondering, and I think you just answered that, but make sure I got that right. So it's normally best for us to work locally on helping people, or does it matter how far away they are if we can reach them?
You can do this virtually, but you will need a realtor in the location that you're at because you need to get pictures of the house to turn in for the repair estimate to the bank. So you'll need a boots on the ground who can go in and take pictures of the house for you. And then you'll need to train somebody to meet the appraiser, BPO agent at the house. So you can train a person to do it. I prefer to do it locally myself. But it can be done virtually. But it does work best, for you to do it locally, because then, nobody is going to care more about making that profit than you are. Okay. And stuff. And so, if you train a realtor on how to take the pictures, just maybe don't make it so well known that you're making 100,000 on the house, right? Okay, just pay the realtor for their services, teach them how to do the pictures, and pay them for a service. Don't say I'll split the profit 50. Oh my gosh, don't do that. Don't say I'll split the 50-50. But taking pictures is all that, so you would have to be careful, and I could certainly work with you to help you, structure a team and how that would look. But yes, normally it's best for your control to have it in the city that you're at.
Yeah, I just have family member that's in real estate down in Texas, and then I have family down there that could help.
Perfect.
And then we live in Wyoming, and it's about an hour's drive to Colorado, and about 10-minute drive to Nebraska, and about an hour drive to South Dakota.
Perfect. Now I will tell you that personally, my one-on-one coaching students that I have, one of the first things I tell them is that they really should pick a county that you live in that's within 20 minutes, because once you start getting a bunch of short sales, and if you're like me, a little bit greedy and you want to do the rehabs, I'm really good at rehab. So I know not only want the meat on the bone, I want to eat the bone. So I keep the whole thing and do the rehab myself. So pick something that's within 20 minutes, because once you start rehabbing, you're not going to want to drive an hour, to another state, most likely.
Yeah, I agree. We've moved from Texas to Oklahoma and California and back to Texas and Wyoming, and we've left property behind everywhere we've gone, and that has gotten difficult to it finally got so difficult to manage all those properties that I finally sold them all, and I'm really sad that I did.
Well, that's true. Yeah. Well, unless you sold them, yesterday at a high price, but, but I understand what you're saying. But that's great questions. Anybody else have any questions? Feel free to just go ahead and unmute yourself or throw them in the
Can
chat
you
box.
tell us again about how to get the legal descriptions you were talking about, or the ones that are in the paper?
Yeah. So basically, what the way the legal process works in the United States, we have counties everywhere except Louisiana. I think they call them parishes. But generally, in the United States, we have counties, not city names, but county names. And so sometimes one city will have 3 counties. So by county name, that county will have a legal newspaper. It is literally, and it has to be a physical paper document. And so by law, all legal notices have to be posted for some certain number of days. Government contracts, I think, have to be posted for 90 days. Divorces have to be probates. So it's that legal newspaper for your county that you're looking for now. Other questions? All right, guys, looks like it looks like we lost Zoom for a second. I apologize for that.
There you are. We see you now again. We lost you for a minute. So it's normally the county seat that has the legal newspaper. I know in our county, we are in the county seat, the city of the county seat, and they post here in our local newspaper.
Yeah, it's the county, the internet version of it. Okay. You want to be able to get online and everything. So
It doesn't hurt, thankfully, but it's
Just
there.
be gargle with salt and water to go heal up fast.
Somebody has a question. Michelle, is that you? I hear somebody talking. Okay. Any other questions, guys? Otherwise, we'll wrap it up here if you guys are done with the questions. I do want to thank everybody for being on here. I do want to thank you for spending the time. Back there's previous recordings you can get that went through different aspects. You know, in an hour time, an hour and a half, they allow us to know ever so much. So over time, you can go through it. You know, the slides, so you don't have to write down. You know, text that me, short to me. Let me know if I can help you out. I want you guys to be successful. So if there's no last questions, we will, I guess, go ahead and go. So I want to thank everybody. Good night.